Namaskar, I am Dr. Shrikant Watwe. I am giving you a video on Lonar Lake, of which the first video is already published. You can go back and link, go back in the link and view that also. This is the second one in the continuation. Now, while presenting this particular video, what you will see is that there are many chemical or compositional or technical things that will come. So I'll be telling them one by one, and finally the way we went inside and what we did. So accordingly we will be going forward. The first photo which you will see is of the markings made on a paper showing different temples inside the lake. Then the water contained the ejecta blanket and the slopes. The second one is a satellite photo which I have shown. And the third photo shows how this particular impact crater is formed. Because when the impact takes place on a basaltic rock, how the stone or the meteor hits the body, goes inside and creates a structure like a lake and with ejecta blanket and all those things. So that is the thing which I have shown. Then I have given quite a good number of photos of this particular lake. Now I will tell you what the things are. This is an impact crater, and it is as a result that it has given very interesting things. It is that it is formed on basaltic rock. This basaltic rock is a rock similar to the rocks in moon and other planets. So we don't have to go to Mars or moon to study the effect of the crater, or you can say the meteoric impact. You can study the properties or the physics behind that even using this particular Lonar Lake. Now, what has happened is that it was formed quite a long back. You can say it is 50,000 years old. And because it is 50,000 years old, its reference is found in many scripts of Indian origin, which I mentioned in the first presentation. Now, the important thing of this crater is that as soon as the impact took place, the chemistry or the composition of the meteoric rock and the result of a water stream entering into this particular crater resulted into many things, that the dissolved salts in water contain the meteoric compositions. So these are some of the things that have happened. Now, the pH that we measured was found to be basic in nature. It was found to be 10. It is a highly basic water basically. Then the depth of this crater from the surface is 137 meters. The crater rim is 1.8 kilometer diameter, and then the crater rim is elevated and has a steep slope from the inner side. So there are fractured and brassicated flows of Deccan basalt which we can find there. There are 6 different flows with similar mineral composition found all across. The outer rim has ejecta blanket which is almost spread up to 1.3 kilometers. This is a natural geological monument as declared by Government of India. The lake periphery inside and around water is 8 kilometers, which we completely walked. The upper area or at the top, when we come out of the lake, the periphery is 18 kilometers. So you can imagine how big this crater is. The water color is green and is alkaline in nature. It was used for skin ailments and it can even now be used for skin ailments. The reasons will come later on. The temples inside the lake have floors or surfaces made of stones. These stones show different magnetic orientations when we place a compass on it. So we had compass, we had magnet, we had pH paper, we had taken a lot of things with us. We had gone there with much preparation. So we just started placing the compass on different stones and we found that each stone behaves differently, and this particular behavior is found on in the temples just when we go inside it. The Shiva temple, the Rama temple, they show this type of behavior. Then, since we were 4 to 5 persons who had been into this lake for collecting the data, collecting the samples, and all those things, we had taken the permission for that. So, we got a lot of things. We even found floating stones. I have given a photo of the floating stones that we received. Then, the chemical composition of the sediments was also studied and compared with various possible places or possible waters that it can be compared. The soil is highly magnetic. How we came to know that? Because when we were walking, we kept our bag while walking just down for seeing here and there. When we lifted the bag, there was a lot of soil which was stuck to the bag. So we thought that the bag might be wet and the soil might have stuck. But when we again placed it, we found that it is magnetic. Then we removed the magnets out from our bags and we placed the magnets on the soil. We found that it attracted a lot of small pebbles like or powder like structure. So we collected all that part and we have given some photos how we studied them. So that also I have given. Then the pH paper, which the photo of which you have seen, shows is alkaline nature. We collected the water samples up to 5 feet. While collecting the samples, we took care that whenever we dip something to collect the water, it was marked and it was kept in different containers. So all that thing was done. What we found using the atomic absorption spectroscopy studies that we conducted, that it is Cu2 plus, Fe3 plus, and magnesium Mn. They were found in ppm levels. So there were things that we could measure using atomic absorption spectroscopy. The water contains various salts with sulfates, carbonates, and bicarbonates. Now, the interesting thing here is that there is absence of nitrogen in the water. It means that if there is no nitrogen, the marine life cannot exist. So, as found, that upper layer is green in nature up to, you can say, not even 1 feet, it is you can say 3 to 4 inches, it is green. Below that there is nothing that can be existing or life can be there. So the marine life is not there. The surface from below 1 feet does not show BOD. BOD means biological oxygen demand, or DO, the dissolved oxygen, which we studied. The chemical oxygen demand is 53 ppm up to the first feet. Not even first feet, less than that. It is 53 ppm chemical oxygen demand. We studied the electrical conductivity in the temperature range 5 degrees to 50 degrees Celsius. Why we chose this range was that the lowest temperature that may come anytime there would be around 5 degrees Celsius, and the higher temperature would be around 50 degrees Celsius. So we covered all that, covering all these seasons that the water faces. The TDS is the measure of ions in the solution. The electrical conductivity measured with temperature and the pH also measured with temperature show a variation. pH is found to decrease, which may be due to the sulfate ions which increase with solubility as the temperature increases. The sulfate ion concentration to conductivity contribution, but not to the pH. So the sulfates will increase the conductivity, but it will not change the pH. The comparison has been made with other water bodies. The table I have already given. The sulfates like soda ash or salt cake are found here. They are called glassmaker salt basically. This composition of sodium carbonate or sulfate, which sometimes makes the H2S emissions in the region which I mentioned initially in the first presentation. The water and other surrounding rocks show the nature or composition of the meteoritic rock and its composition that was dug inside or it was inside, on which the water has come. The water now, what it does is that the water absorbs, or the salts are absorbed in the water, making it a salty solution. Then what we did was that since we had come to know that it is used for medical purposes, specifically skin and all, we used the ultraviolet measurement techniques, which showed a cutoff at 440 nanometers, which makes it a ultraviolet filter. Now, the ultraviolet filter makes this water remain cooler than the surroundings. So what happens is that the ultraviolet filter rejects ultraviolet radiations, and therefore the temperature of water inside the lake remains much lower than what it should be if the same water is kept at the, or water is on the surface of the city, or you can say keeps the lake cooler than the city. That is what we found. Now, this similar UV cutoff is also found in almond nanoparticle, which we were studying. So, it was interesting to know that the ultraviolet treatments show this type of ultraviolet cutoffs. The masculinite is a naturally occurring glass which is formed due to heavy impact, or you can say high velocity heavy impact on the rocks. So what we found was that we found a similar thing with us. By this time you might have seen a lot of photos. So we have shown spherical balls, the floating, you can say the floating stones and all those things. By this time you might have already seen all those things. Then, when we were down, what we could see was that we saw the Shiva temple, we saw the Rama temple. It was built by Chalukyas. And I have given a good number of photos of this particular thing that we have taken inside. Then there are many temples which we could not go inside because they have been occupied either by bats or other creatures. So we cannot even enter inside. So we could enter into a very few of them. The jungle is all along the slope. The slope is very, very heavy. So every year during the festival, a lot of disciples come from the Dhar temple. You can see the photo on the first clip, which shows the Dhar temple, and they come to the temple of Kamalja Mandir. They come to the Kamalja temple and go back. This is a path used more conveniently by people who come down to visit this particular temple, Kamalja Devi temple. So that is regarding what we have found inside. There is still a lot to give. So I will continue with my next video to give you some more information. Thank you for listening to me and seeing the video. Do like and subscribe so that I can give you some more videos. Thank you. Thank you very much.